Remember when I said I thought American Heartbreak was too long of an album with 34 songs? Remember when I said Eric Church's Heart and Soul triple album was too long at 24 songs? Remember when I thought Morgan Wallen's Dangerous was too long with 31 songs? And let's be real here, I say like every album is too long, including Mockingbird and the Crow a week ago. Well, Morgan Wallen recently announced that he is dropping a new album, his third full-length album, on March 3rd. It's going to be called One Thing at a Time, and get this, it's 36 songs long. 36 songs long! I mean, wow.
You have 36 songs on your new album?
I do, yeah.
You're never going to hear the end of it. At least we won't.
And it's not even a double album or a triple album or any of that. It's just a 36-song long album. We've got the album cover. It's him standing in front of the Sneedville, Tennessee home of his late grandmother that he called Mama. We've got the track list, and we have duets from Eric Church, Hardy, Ernest, as well as his sister Ashlyn, who's singing harmonies on the song Outlook. And we got another 3 songs from the album, which I'm going to talk about in this video. And yeah, I know I'm like a week late, okay? I was in London. I had things to do. I'll tell you about it soon, but it's cool. In a press release, Morgan talked about how there is going to be alternative and hip-hop and obviously country influence on this record, and he also weighed in on the length of the record. He says there are 36 songs on this album because we just kept exploring with fresh lyrics, music, and production ideas, and these are the songs that felt right to me. It was a blast to create, and I was so grateful to be back in the studio to lay this out for my fans. Now, I believe him, and I also call bullshit a little bit, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. First, though, I want to talk about the fact that we have a new sponsor here on the channel, because today's video is sponsored by Wonder. Now, y'all know I've been talking about and playing around with some AI here on the channel, and the cool thing about Wonder is it turns your words into digital art, which can look quite mesmerizing. All you gotta do is describe what you want Wonder to paint, choose an art style, and then hit create and marvel at your new unique artwork. I've actually got a link in the description down below to get a free trial of the premium version of Wonder, and that gives you over 20 different art styles, no ads, it renders your images faster, and it's really cool to see what you can do. So let's just do a little trial run of things right here. I'm gonna open up the app, and I am going to create a prompt. Let's talk about country music here. I'll say a portrait of a cowboy, a green hat during sunset. For my style, I'll say maybe animation. Let's just see what it gives us. This honestly looks remarkably like me. What the heck? Let's try something totally different and out of the box. Let's say a futuristic landscape of Nashville as a nuclear wasteland. Wow. That's crazy. Okay, so this is like the world that, you know, if bro country never was stopped, or if boyfriend country never was stopped, this is what we'd have. There's also a ton of other stuff you can do in the app. You can have avatars made of yourself. Here is the anime style of me. I feel like a Pokemon trainer. So if you're struggling with some inspiration or you want to bring one of your ideas to life, head to the link in the description down below. You can get a free trial of the premium version of Wonder, and all you gotta do is click that link. Thanks so much to Wonder for sponsoring the video, and go have fun making stuff. Okay, so let's talk about why this album is so damn long. I would say there are 3 main reasons that came to mind when I started to think about this. The first is exactly what Morgan said. He wanted to give music to his fans. He recorded a lot of music, and he said, I just wanted to put it out there. I think that could sort of be true just because the culture of how releases are structured is changing. We used to be very wedded to the idea of a 10, 12, maybe if it was a really important album, like a 15-song track list, but ever since really Drake's Scorpion, long albums are the name of the game, and there are some economic reasons for that, which I'm going to get into in a second, but you could argue that Morgan has come up at a time where long albums are normal. It doesn't feel as weird to see like a 30-something song long album, and he just wanted to put out this many. He's like, this is what kind of epic A-list stars do. I mean, I was sort of shocked when Luke Combs only dropped 12 songs on his Growing Up album, but once you mix it with Getting Old, and it's kind of now considered a single project, it's a 30-song long album, and maybe we're just at a point where That's what's normal for the A-list. The second reason I thought of is quite simply money. This is the record industry. It is an industry, and the reality is you get a payout per stream, and a lot of people just put an album on and let it continue playing, which is why when you look at albums when they're first released, you'll often see just like a direct slight drop off of song to song as you go down the track list. But if you give them more of a runway to just keep playing an album all the way through, well, then that's just an opportunity for more streams. So more streams equals more money. A lot of people are extremely loyal to Morgan, as we saw in that video I did last year of what country star has the most passionate fan base. There was no one in country music whose fans streamed their music more than Morgan's. It was like 58 streams per every listener that he had. So let's keep it real here. There's a giant opportunity to make tons more money, even though everyone says streaming doesn't pay. It does, if you have a bunch more songs on your album that people are able to listen to. And the third reason would be a little bit more inside baseball, but maybe the reason the album is so long is because this can achieve way better chart positions and rankings due to its length. Let me explain what I mean. No longer are we in the era where album sales are the primary metric of how you measure an album's success. Now we have what are called album units or equivalent album units. So one purchase of an album, like if you went to Walmart and bought a CD or if you went and bought a vinyl, that's equal to one album sale. But so is the download of 10 digital tracks. If you were to go to the iTunes store and actually download 10 songs, that equals an equivalent album unit. That also equals and is the same thing as 1,500 streams. So if you listen to one song on an album 1,500 times, or if you listened to 5 different songs 300 times each, however you get there, 1,500 streams equals one equivalent album unit. This is why for almost 2 years now, you have seen Morgan Wallen's Dangerous in the top 10 of the chart. It's always selling 45,000 equivalent albums pretty much every week. And the vast majority of those albums sold are just equivalent albums being streamed a ton. So this is a way of kind of hacking the chart, and a much longer album gives you much more opportunity to sell a bunch of albums. And if you think that the industry or the artists themselves don't care about such rankings, you're being naive. Everyone cares about that stuff. The industry and every label wants to be able to brag to other labels about how big they are, and so do a lot of artists. I mean, look, I'm a Swiftie, but Miss Taylor loves the competition of seeing how many number ones she can get and how long she can stay there, which is why she releases like a gazillion versions of every track. And I guess there could be a fourth bonus reason, and I'm gonna dismiss it. It's the idea that he's in a bitter war with Zach Bryan, and he just wants to one-up Zach Bryan and put out 36 songs instead of 34 after Zach put out a longer album than his. I think that's so dumb. I think some people believe that like Zach and Morgan are these two poles and they're just constantly reacting against each other. And I feel like you see an occasional friendly comment between them on Instagram. I don't buy into this deep-seated feud between them at all. I think it's so dumb. And so I'm going to say, you know, you got to widen your perspective, guys. There's more artists than just those two in the world. But, you know, that would be the fourth reason that some people say. So I guess that's why I think it's 36 songs long. As a critic, I feel a bit annoyed that it's such a long album. I feel like there's no way there's not going to be a lot of filler on here. Same thing I honestly said about Dangerous. I do think there was filler on that album, and now I think there's going to be a bunch more, but we'll have to wait and see. Certainly, I know that 20 minutes into this album being out, I'm going to get comments that are like, where's the review? Where's the review? And I'm going to be like, bro, I'm 3 songs in. Calm yourself. But that's a very specific problem for privileged little me. In any case, I'm definitely excited to listen in a few weeks. Now let's talk about the 3 songs that dropped from this 3 songs at a time sampler pack. I would call it the Dust Cloud sampler pack, as all 3 of these songs mention being left in a cloud of dust or her car leaving a trail of dust behind her, you know. These are the Dust Cloud songs. First up is a song called Last Night.
Last night we let the liquor talk. I can't remember.
This is kind of an alternative, a little bit grunge poppy song with an extremely hypnotic guitar part. The first time I heard this, I thought it was cool. But then it just sticks in your freaking head. It's one of the catchiest, most weirdly haunting things I've heard in a long time. I find there's something a little bit nursery rhyme about it, the same way I said with Ernest's Miss That Girl.
Red dirt, take me slow out to where the
And lyrically, it's just a song about toxicity. It's about this relationship where she's gripping the sheets because they're having good sex, but then they're fighting, and then they're drunk, and then he's calling her mom, and then she's coming back, and he says, I wouldn't trade this kind of love for anything else, which is so toxic. It's like the Ohio water supply. But really, it's that looping guitar part and the cadence of the song that gives it all of its energy, and this one sneaks up on you. It debuted at number 27 on the Hot 100, which is already crazy, and then it jumped 24 spots to number 3 this week, which says to me, this is now the chosen one. I imagine this is going to be the next single, because that is an insane thing to jump in your second week 24 spots, and it's not because of radio or anything. That's all from streaming, so this feels like the chosen one of his next 3 songs. My personal favorite of the 3 was that song, Everything I Love. Everyone talks about how this song has a real Waylon Jennings vibe. I think between the brushed drums and the whole like boom, but the boom, but the boom, but the boom, kind of guitar part in it, it really reminded me of Willie Nelson's On the Road Again. And it's definitely some of the most straight down the middle country music that Morgan Wallen has ever released. Lyrically, this is kind of your standard Give Me Back My Hometown or Songs We Used to Sing vibe song. It's sort of about like, all these things that I love, she's taken from me because she's gone and they remind me of her. I will say I adore in the second verse the whole part about how even when he's fishing and his bobber hits the water, thoughts of her come floating up. That's just beautiful wordplay and I think really good. I think this song is fun. It's kind of sad boy like a lot of Morgan Wallen songs, and I love that. My least favorite of the 3 is I Wrote the Book. It's got that kind of downbeat, almost Jason Aldean's Burning It Down vibe about it. Way more production on it, and I do not like all of the processing on this song. And I think lyrically, it's a little bit clunky. It's kind of playing with that idea of someone saying, I wrote the book on that. So he's talking about how he's so small town. And so if you need help with like hunting or fishing or drinking, it's like, I wrote the book. And it then flips that around in the chorus and kind of brings in the idea of like the book on your nightstand with the red letters. He says, you know, when it comes to walking the straight line, that's one book I didn't write. I just think it does one too many things, and it makes the joke not land quite as well. Like we've got the metaphorical books that he wrote by being a Southern boy. We've got the literal book of the Bible, and then we've got like, I didn't write that book, the morals of which were espoused in the real book on my nightstand. I don't know, it just doesn't click as well for me. I'm nitpicking, but mostly the sound of that song, not for me. Those get you in letters in red and getting red. But that's just 3 of 36 songs that we are getting. I want to hear your thoughts on how long this album is, if that's cool to you or not cool to you, and which of these 3 songs was your favorite. And go check out Wonder, and thanks again to them for sponsoring the video. I'll be back with a bunch more stuff soon because everyone is releasing damn interesting good albums, and I'm back in the saddle. I'm back from my trip. Let's do this thing. Okay, bye guys.